Welcome to Hypno Life with Dr. William Deihl and Dr. Jennifer Couldry.
Hello, hi. You are listening to Hypno Life. This is Dr. William Deihl.
And I'm Dr. Jennifer Couldry from Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center.
And you, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us at our office at 602-314-1907 or to go to dochypnosis.com. And we're going to talk about burnout.
Oh yes, burnout.
For me, it's fascinating. There's a lot of tests online that you can do, but there's a standardized test. But we want to give some questions you can ask yourself today about burnout.
Yeah, the first question that we have for you is, do you often feel emotionally or mentally exhausted at the end of the day?
Sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. Depends on how many clients I have. I know if I have 8 or more clients in a day, and I usually don't go over 9, oh my God, I'm brain dead by the end of the day. But there's some people that just, no matter what, they kind of feel exhausted at the end of the day.
Well, I think part of that too, as we were talking about earlier, is it also depends on the type of cognitive kind of overload or the cognitive load that you have during the day. So, for example, seeing clients in a mental health way or in hypnotherapy or clinical sound therapy, that requires additional energy and effort and just control and being able to hold space for people. So I think that by its very nature requires a bit more than maybe if your job is not interfacing all the time with people kind of face to face, as well as hearing about some very difficult things, of course.
No, 100%. And that's why we're talking about burnout today, because a lot of people do come to both of us for burnout. And one of the other questions that we're going to ask is, do you wake up feeling tired even after what should have been enough sleep?
Oh my goodness, definitely. I mean, for me, I would say all the time. And we talked, our last episode was on sleep and sleep hygiene. So if you haven't seen episode 3, we encourage you to check that out as well. It's available on Spotify and some other locations. So just something to know for you. Sleep is definitely a challenge. And man, it's hard for me anyway to get my mind to slow down, and my nervous system in particular, especially if I've been doing something where I'm really hyper focused on it, like something that's very very taxing or very demanding, like marketing or technology projects, things like that. What do you think?
Well, for myself, there once again depends on if I have a lot of things are going in my head. I have had burnout in my life, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But right now, I love what I do. I love helping people, so I don't feel burnt out anymore. So sometimes I wake up totally refreshed.
Yeah. That's usually when I'm like, quit being so happy. No, I'm just kidding. I need coffee before you talk to me. That's horrible, but sometimes it's true. Do you find it harder to concentrate or think clearly than you used to?
I think that's just getting old, but yes, that is a sign of burnout for individuals. I know that a lot of individuals come to me. I know they come to you saying, "Ooh, I just have brain fog all the time," and yeah, for myself, there is sometimes where I just feel like I need to shake the cobwebs out.
Definitely, just to, I think for concentration especially, it's okay to give yourself a little bit of love in there too, right? Nobody can be 100% focused and concentrated on something for an extended period of time. When they talk about studying, right, in college or for other exams or things like that, they recommend that you take a break. I think that we need to do that.
How our mind works, when studying, you have to take a break every 20 minutes. Every 20 minutes. The other question is, do you feel less motivated or enthusiastic about working or responsibilities than you once did?
That's a good question. I think that's difficult, because especially if you're in a situation where you are dealing with some heightened emotions, For example, if you're dealing with grief, if you are dealing with a loved one maybe who's suffering from an illness, or just regular pressure from life, I think that one can be more pervasive.
I love that you just said that, because a lot of people think burnout is just because of work, but burnout can be because of you're a caretaker and you're taking care of somebody all the time. You could be a parent taking care of the children all the time and never having a break. It could be someone that is just so focused on the outcome and not focus a little bit on themselves that can have burnout.
I'm sure you talk about like the CEO or the middle management or executive. My prior life, I was an information technology project manager, and I think that the volume too can make a difference as well. Like if you are constantly inundated, it can be really hard to know just where to start, and that can affect your motivation.
The last question is, do you feel like your nervous system is always on and really, truly relaxed? You're giggling.
Sorry. I find that question funny because, yes, I mean, for most people, I think the answer is yes. And part of that just has to do with our society in general and the way that it's made up, as well as the amount of stimulus that we are inundated with, don't you think?
Well, with the stimulus, and especially when it comes to work, and when I had kids, you felt like you never had a break. You were constantly working, and then you come home and there was still more work. So there is times that you definitely had to focus in on what's going on. And actually, it was an interesting statistic that was shared that you said about middle management. Like 71% of middle management actually go through a level of burnout.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
I can see how that would happen. I mean, especially from my expertise in project management, because you feel they call it the squeeze from both ends, right? So you feel it from stakeholders or from leadership, and sometimes from the team as well, like your engineers, your developers, other project managers. So that can be really difficult to navigate. I used to joke with my other colleagues that at any given point, either one team or all teams are mad at me. So you just have to go with the flow and just work on your communication and realize that people can be upset and it's not always your responsibility to fix it.
And for myself, I also knew that a lot of people just think I've been doing hypnotherapy all my life, but actually I was a vice president of corporate development. I was the president of a corporation of 125 individuals, 10,000 distributors nationwide with 100,000 customers or clients. Mm-hmm. And that stress and that burnout was real. And we want to talk about that. We want to talk about burnout today and how it's affecting you, and how hypnotherapy as well as clinical sound therapy, or the combination of what we do at Doc Hypnosis, can really help people make a shift to enjoy their life a little bit more. So I know that you have several things that you've gone through that caused you to have burnout. And I'm not to throw you under the bus. I know we only have about a minute before a break, but do you want to share anything right now?
I'm trying to think. I know that it can be difficult for people to navigate, and we can probably talk a little bit more after the break about it as well, but just a quick summary is I was experiencing some physical symptoms as well, like not being able to sleep, and heightened stress, not being able to relax, whether it's at night or during the day either, and also just thoughts that just kept kind of haunting me, I guess, for lack of a better way to say it.
Well, for myself, I know that I had short temper. I was, I
hard.
didn't sleep well at night. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be talking after the break. You're listening to Hypno Life with Dr. William Deihl
and Dr. Jennifer Couldry.
And we're with Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center. You can reach us at 602-314-1907 or online at dochypnosis.com. This is 1100 KFNX, the Pulse of Arizona. Well, we're on a break now, guys, so we're gonna have some fun.
If you have any questions about hypnotherapy, clinical sound therapy,
Or how we can help with burnout or
Right.
sleep.
or mental health questions, please feel free to share them with us.
Did that flow okay for you guys with the countdown? I'm sorry if I cut
perfect.
you off.
Oh, no, it's
Yeah, no,
perfect.
it's perfect.
Sweet.
Thank
I'm
you.
always watching the clock too,
Yes.
so I'm kind of,
Okay.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. That's so nice that he was checking. I'm like, no, that was great.
So let's talk about your personal stuff, and then my personal stuff. So-
Oh, you mean next? Okay.
Yeah, well, not the personal stuff, but after the break. Oh my God, these people.
All the personal stuff. Oh, just, yeah. I mean, we can talk about these things too if you want.
Yeah, I think
And these people.
well, we also need to make sure we talk about how hypnosis and clinical sound therapy can help out individuals.
Yes. Do you want to talk about that first and then tie into these guys? Or how do you want to do it?
Let's talk. We talked about personal stuff, so let's talk about a little bit personal, and then come on in about. We can even talk about kaiju.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll talk about a kaiju any day. Yeah. I mean, and it could be another thing too that we, maybe in a future topic to talk about, corporate culture and how sometimes it's not the most healthy.
Corporate narcissism or corporate structure or narcissists. We could talk about that one of these times. If you're
Combination.
interested in that,
Let us know.
Let us know. One more minute.
Cool. So what are we talking about in a minute?
I have no idea.
Kaiju.
We're going to talk about your personal journey and how I recognized.
Okay,
that
you
were-
can start
yeah.
there. Since, because I think that's a very good point because your partner may notice before you do. That's a very good point.
I'll bring in Doc about the Burnout 101, and then I recognized it. And then you'll talk about who the doctor is and stuff. Cool.
I don't know much about him other than he's a psychologist or psychiatrist. Oh,
You
and
can say his name.
neurodivergent autism. Well, that's different. That's spectrum stuff too.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah, but there's these guys, right?
Yes.
So.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We're talking about burnout on Hypno Life as I'm Dr. William Deihl.
And I'm Dr. Jennifer Couldry.
And once again, we're with Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center. You can reach out us at 602-314-1907 or online at dochypnosis.com. But let's talk about burnout. I know that you recently, I'm sorry to throw Dr. Jennifer under the bus, she recently actually went through burnout just before she retired. And I was lucky enough to notice it, and my love for her made sure that I got her something to help her out. And one of the things that can help an individual out is sometimes a support animal.
Yes, a support animal. And my support animal is a little monster. No. His name is Kaiju, and he is a Boston Terrier puppy. And he is just the light of my life. He came into my life at a very difficult time. As Dr. Deihl mentioned, I was going through some transition in the workplace. This was my prior career. I know I mentioned project management before in information technology. And Kaiju made it possible to focus on just the joy in the small things, in the everyday things. And of course, since he's a puppy, everything is great for him. He's just happy all the time, or he's sleeping. That's it.
And after the bottom of the hour, we'll go over the questions again, but we asked some questions at the beginning. And one of the things that I noticed that people have gone through burnout don't take time for themselves. And I think Kaiju, and by the way, Kaiju means what?
Strange beast.
Strange beast. So he is a strange beast. But kind of helped Jennifer actually calm down. She was taking some time off, and I saw her, well, she was sleeping and in the middle of the night talking to herself, even screaming at people in the middle of the night.
Not screaming.
So, well, all right. I won't use the language you used.
Oh no! Come on.
But
Wow.
I knew that we needed to get her focused on or taking some time for herself, and I think that's where the support animal came in. But there's several other things. I think you showed me something called Burnout 101.
I did, yeah. I found it online on a YouTube video by Dr. You got the paper. Dr. I want to make sure I say his name right and give him proper credit. His name is Dr. Anson Service. And we'll talk about the different aspects that we found in the video. We'll talk about Burnout 101 and then also recovery steps that he mentioned. But what I loved about his video in particular too is that he talks about neurodivergent individuals and autism and ADHD as well as other spectrums. And I think that that is just a population of people that we don't normally think of when we think of burnout or being susceptible to burnout. But a lot of the symptoms are similar to what other folks experience. It's just some of the triggers or the things that cause them might not bother neurotypical people. So I thought it was very important to call that out.
No, I think that's fantastic. And one of the things I know that he talks about is to get out, meaning not get out of your life, but get out of the house.
Yeah,
go
get
for
out
a
of where
walk.
you are. Go somewhere different.
Go
yeah.
to a restaurant. Do something. And that's where coming sometimes. He also says another one that's kind of interesting that
oh yeah, he says get wet, and when he says this he means take a shower. I know that sounds funny, but it really can make a difference. I've noticed that in myself. If I'm in a mood, for lack of a better way to describe it, I just feel overloaded, I'm overstimulated. If I can just get up and go take a nice hot bath. He recommends a 68-degree cold shower because that will actually shock your system into
68 degrees.
Yeah, I know.
Woo,
I love
that's
that.
cold.
I love that he has the exact degree because I think that's incredibly great. I'm all about data, and that fact is very specific. 68 degrees precisely. Thank you, Dr. Service.
You know, and one of the things I know, it wasn't on his list, but it's also finding someone that is willing to work with you, a therapist, like a hypnotherapist or a clinical sound therapist, to help teach you maybe how to breathe a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to just give you some numbers here. A 4-7-8. It's actually great for stress, great for anxiety, but something I teach my clients. And it basically is breathe in for 4, hold for 7, and breathe out for 8. Breathe in for 4, hold for 7, and breathe out for 8. And doing that for a couple of rounds can actually help relax your nervous system down. And that's what we want to do. And that's what we want to do when people come to our office, is kind of retrain them to start taking time for themselves. I know we talked about the support animal, but they also say to take some time and exercise.
Yes, he mentions exercise and he mentions yoga in particular. And I think part of that also ties into the breathing and to tools to help regulate your nervous system, as you mentioned. I mean, yoga is very relaxing. There's obviously a lot of stretching, which is good for your muscles too, to help alleviate tension. And deep breaths, get that oxygen into your body, get your blood flowing better, and get your heart rate kind of lower. And those are other ways that you can just help yourself.
And talking about helping yourself, how would clinical sound therapy, how could that help somebody?
Oh.
Threw her under the bus
I
again.
know. I was like, you didn't give me a hint, but that's okay. That's right. I'm ready. Clinical sound therapy is, by its very nature, designed to do that. The resonance, the frequency, feeling the sound waves in your body naturally will affect your muscles and your nervous system, and it will help you relax. I actually had a client just recently We're working on some of her concerns, but she noticed that before her mind would quiet down, that her body felt relaxed. And I thought that was fascinating, that the first thing she says is like, well, my body's relaxed, but my mind won't shut up. I'm like, well, that's okay.
Well,
We
that's
can
where
work with
hypnosis comes in.
right? And then we start talking to your subconscious a little bit more. But yeah, the first step, of course, is for your body to feel safe, because then the rest will follow naturally if you give it a chance.
And that's one of the great things why I think that when we team up, sometimes we work with individuals back to back, sometimes together, sometimes completely separately. But at Doc Hypnosis, we'll take the time, and where hypnosis comes in is where we actually get into that subconscious mind and start directing your mind or thoughts a little bit differently, saying it's okay to not to be that high performer. And one of the statistics that we read, that high performers are actually individuals that are more likely to have burnout. I thought that was fascinating, because I guess they have a level of wanting to be the best. They take maybe a little bit more caring into it. And today I think most jobs are saying, hey, we're looking for people with a scrappy can-do attitude, and they're looking for people that are open to burnout.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, they are ready and willing for you to give your entire heart and soul, and even your total health to the company, because there's a limitless supply. I know that sounds kind of morbid, but it's true. I've seen postings that say, a manager who is also willing to roll up their sleeves and get things done. Yeah.
For myself, I noticed that working with individuals, even when I ran the company, my philosophy was, if you grow the person, you grow the company. And there are some, as you just said, some managers that talk about just going through people. They're more like a number. And I think that might be a great show for next week or in a couple of weeks about narcissism and talking about things like that. But we also, with hypnotherapy, we take the time to help, relax the body. I know that Jennifer, with your clinical sound therapy, helps, and that helps your cortisol reaction to drop down in your body. And the cortisol is actually a hormone that your body releases when you are under a lot of stress. So hypnosis does it a little bit different, where you will use frequencies and sound that naturally
right, to get the body first, right? So with clinical sound therapy, I think it's body first and then subconscious. So with hypnotherapy, it's subconscious first.
Yeah, so we kind of work it differently. I know that we're coming up to our break, so you are listening to Hypno Life with Dr. William Deihl
and Dr. Jennifer Couldry
from Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center. You can reach us at 602-314-1907 or online at dochypnosis.com. You're listening to 1100 KFNX, the Pulse of Arizona. We can do some interesting facts.
We didn't get to the recovery steps.
But we can hit that too.
We definitely need those.
Yes.
And then these two people, which we have not got to yet.
Yes. Do you
if you want.
Yes.
I think these two people were good. Oh, actually, should we ask the questions again?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah. Hey, it's Bill Brady.
Bill Brady. I love Bill Brady. Sorry, we're talking about burnout today, and we're doing a live, but on the radio right now. But we're going to. Where is my questions?
The questions? Here they are.
You found them? Thank you.
I've got them. Okay, the questions are on the top, and then the two people that we want to talk about.
Yeah, we're just going to go through the questions real quick.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about those.
Yeah.
TikTok. Yeah, we're still recording.
Okay, cool. On the other cameras, can you look and see if you can see us both?
Getting this a little bit better. Perfect. Let's see. You look good. You look good. Both of us are live. That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, that one. I think this one might be better.
That's kind of, don't move it too much, it'll fall.
Yeah.
It's kind of just we had better over here.
Yeah, no.
So next time,
I think we'll do that.
Yeah, I don't like the angle today.
Yeah,
But that's okay.
no.
Whatever. Our angle's weird, but hey.
And I saw myself, I need to go on a diet.
Stop it. I'm like, can you tell which one of us is more possibly rocking some of the tism? I'm talking about the angle.
Do you want to just read through the questions yourself?
Yeah.
You want to go back and forth? What do you want to do? Now you guys are seeing behind the scenes.
Dun dun dun. I don't care. I can read the questions if you want, and then you can do the covering.
No, we'll go back and forth. Let's
Don't
go.
ask me
because
that.
because I want to make sure we get equal time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, no, maybe so.
Fine.
I don't care. All right, do what you.
No.
Okay.
Hand off.
See, off the radio, no one ever sees us have a spat. But on the radio, we sound so lovely, so
real.
caring.
We are.
All
Stop
the time.
We are. I'm just very literal, so I'm like, just tell me which one. Don't change it. But it's fine, I don't care. Switching off is fine. Oh, but yeah. So you want to talk about Herbert then, and I'll talk about Christina?
Oh, Herbert Freudenberger? Burger. Freudenberger. Herbert Freudenberger.
Oh, God. There you go. 1 minute.
1 whole minute. I have to go to pee again.
I'm glad everybody gets to know that.
Yep. This is teamwork right here, guys. Where the hell is my Herbert?
Making the dream happen.
I'm going to have to steal
It's
your
right
paper.
Here. It's right here. It's okay.
Here it
Okay.
Here it is.
I'm like, it's shareable.
But I need this up
Thank you
over
for
here
printing
first.
this out for us.
Yes, thank you. No, we're keeping us on track all the time. I don't have to read that whole thing, do I? I guess we do.
I can read it. Up to you. You want to read it? I don't care. Whatever. We can switch up. However you want to do it.
Read that and I'll say my name. Or you say your name. Switch
Okay.
back.
Okay. Welcome back. You're listening to Hypno Life with Dr.
William Deihl.
and Dr. Jennifer Couldry from Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center. You can reach us at 602-314-1907 or online at dochypnosis.com.
Well, fantastic. We were talking before the break about burnout, and we asked at the top of the hour about some questions people can ask. If you have one, or you start doing 2 or 3 of these questions saying yes to, you probably have a level of burnout, and you might want to see a therapist. So, Dr. Couldry, you want to share about those questions?
Sure, I'd love to. So the first question that you can ask yourself is, do you often feel emotionally or mentally exhausted at the end of the day?
The other question is, do you wake up feeling tired, or even after what you should? Well, man, try that one more time. Do you wake up feeling tired even after what should have been a good night's sleep?
That's a good question. Do you find it harder to concentrate or think clearly than you used to? That's our third question.
I'm trying to think that through right now. I don't know if I can remember it. Do you feel less motivated or enthusiastic about work or responsibilities than you once did?
And our fifth question is, do you feel like your nervous system is always on and rarely truly relaxed? Those are excellent questions.
Those are, and if you are hitting 2 or 3 or more of those with a yes, you might want to just kind of take some time for yourself. And we're going to give some ideas of how to do some recovery on your own. You might want to come and see Dr. Couldry or myself, or go find another therapist. And if you want to use us a resource, you have our number. We are here for you at any time. But one of the things that they talk about is to rest and reset. I kind of like that, rest and reset.
Yeah, rest and reset.
And rest and reset, I like telling my clients to make sure they at least take 30 minutes a day for themselves. And what I mean by that, get off the phones, get away for 30 minutes and just take some time for yourself. Start resting and resetting. Make sure you have a good night's sleep with that too.
Yeah, and know that rest and reset, that can mean something different based on each day. So if reading a book is good for you, do that. Sometimes it may mean taking a bath. Like we mentioned before the break, some of the steps that Dr. Anson Service highlighted on YouTube included like just taking a nice cold shower to kind of shock your system into lowering your cortisol.
Exactly. And also taking some time to let other people help you out.
Oh,
Delegate.
that's a hard one.
Delegate.
Yeah.
I have a hard time doing that myself.
I have a hard time doing it.
I know I could say I'm one of those high performers, and I'll share a little. I know we're going to some recovery tips, but I want to share that high performers are usually more open to burnout.
Mm-hmm.
But once you have burnout, you're more susceptible of getting burnout again if you don't take these steps into consideration.
Yeah, and these steps are, I know a lot of people sometimes just talk about like taking a vacation or just taking some time off, and that can help with some of the surface level things, but some of these things require a little bit more than that. Like a week away is not going to solve some of the longer term effects of burnout or the more heightened symptoms. One of the other suggestions here is to take a nice bath. I think I talked about that one. Yeah, take a nice bath or a shower, right? Kind of just get away for a little bit.
100%. The other one is to basically say no.
Oh, yeah.
Start saying no when you have to, putting those boundaries up. And that's something we sometimes have to work with individuals to help them feel okay of saying no. They have this guilt or this feeling of they have to do everything or be a part of everything. Maybe they have too much pressure. And what we do is help them understand no is sometimes a better thing to say than yes all the time.
I agree. And like we really like to go down to First Friday. This is something that happens the first Friday of every month in Phoenix. They have like art walk, they have vendors, they have street performers and food and all kinds of fun stuff. And a lot of our friends that do hypnosis and some of the street hypnotists will go down and perform hypnosis for free. And we always like to go when we can, but this month we weren't able to, and it was hard to say no, but I think it was the right decision this time, so that we were ready for our show today, and we're able to wake up refreshed and also give the right amount of care and time and space to our clients.
I always like to say that you need to put your mask on before you help others put their mask on.
The oxygen, yeah.
The oxygen mask,
Yeah.
if you ever flown. But I think you said it the very first time we were on the radio together. You actually used the phrase, and it's a beautiful way, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Definitely.
So if you don't take care of yourself, who's going to be there to take care of those other people later on in life?
Oh, yeah.
So taking that time and looking at it and saying no is very powerful. It's okay to stay home. It's okay to take a nap. It's okay to say, what, I know I need the overtime, but I'm burnt out,
Yeah.
or I'm overly stressed. The last one is get out in nature.
That's my favorite one. I think that's one of the things that's so beautiful about nature, at least for me, is that it encourages you to slow down. Nature has a different pace than we do on a daily basis. I mean, if you watch the wind in the trees, if you listen to birds singing, or even a creek just kind of doodling along, that it naturally encourages you to breathe, like we've been mentioning, right, in a slower pace, to just pay attention to what's around you, and slow down.
And I think that's what clinical sound therapy does. It helps people take it into a slower pace, where they sync up with the vibrations or the beats or the rhythms that you do. And I know for hypnosis, we can actually take people on a journey, take them to another place, another time, another quiet, loving, safe place where their system can actually get out of this constant fright situation. And that's basically what burnout is. You do not know when there is safety, so we have to reteach the mind how to feel safe again. And actually that was something that was studied back in the 1970s by Herbert Freudenberger. Did I say that right? I know you speak German.
That's pretty close.
How do you say it? I know you speak German.
If the pronunciation is true to German, it would be it'd probably be Herbert, and it'd be Freudenberger.
I'll let her say that. She says it so much better than me. But Herbert actually was the first person that coined burnout, and he helped really started noticing it when he was working with social workers and individuals at free clinics in New York. And he started to understand, seeing people having cynicism. They weren't doing their jobs as well. They loved what they're doing, but they were just overworked over time. And I also know there's another groundbreaking person in the 1970s that looked at that.
Yes, Christina, I think it's Maslach. It's Maslach for her last name. But she developed the Maslach Burnout Inventory, which is the most widely used burnout measurement tool in the world, and it identified 3 core dimensions of burnout: emotional exhaustion, depersonalization or detachment or cynicism toward others, and then reduced personal accomplishment. So I think that all of these are, again, just tools to be able to notice when your nervous system or your mental health may need some love. We all need some care and feeding, and there's no shame in it.
No, there is no shame. And we're talking about burnout, and people might go, wow, why are we talking about burnout? Realize that about 72% of the individuals do not know that they're going through a level of burnout every day. It actually costs America anywhere from $300 to $500 billion a year in lower productivity, because so many people go unrecognized that they're going through a level of burnout, so their productivity goes down, even to a point the World Health Organization actually recognized burnout as a critical factor of mental health, and that people have to address in, just believe it or not, in 2019.
Yeah. That's incredible.
And I know that we are coming up to a break, and you are listening to Hypno Life with Dr. William Deihl
and Dr. Jennifer Couldry.
And we're from Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center. You can reach us at 602-314-1907 or online at dochypnosis.com. And if you have questions today, please feel free to call in here at the station, or later on we can address the things on our next broadcast. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
That's cool. I wanted to make sure that we called out those people because of their studies. I think that people were experiencing it probably well in advance of the 70s, but they just didn't have a word for it. They didn't have a category for it, so they didn't know what to call it. That's cool.
So we could burnout changes the brain. We can do the interesting things and talk about how hypnosis and sound therapy can really help slow down.
That we should
redirect.
talk about too, that it can mimic depression.
Yeah.
That people don't,
Well, if
sometimes
we're doing
people can be misdiagnosed. I'm just saying it's here.
No, I understand. You're right.
Because we already talked about high performers.
Yes, and I know that we are talking about burnout today, guys, on Facebook and TikTok. Hi, everybody.
You see I look all I may look like I'm angry, but it's just my serious face when I'm concentrating.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm not
me?
angry.
When I concentrate, I look like Dopey.
Stop, you do not.
I try to figure that out. So we're going to get that. So let's talk about some of these facts and riff off of them. To still talk about how hypnosis can help and keep things going.
Yeah.
And I know that this one is a hard stop at 11:58, 58 and 50 seconds. So I'm keeping an eye on that so we can keep that going.
Okay. So should we talk about the recovery steps again, or no? Because we just did. We asked the questions twice already.
Yeah.
So we did that.
Yeah, we can talk about recovery one more time, just go through them. Let's talk about some interesting facts. We could throw out some percentages.
Yeah, go with the percentages too. Wasn't it something about like 71% of information technology people, or was it 58%? IT. 58% of people in information technology fields or experience burnout.
So we can talk about that. We can talk about nursing. What about young people? 81%, 18 to 24.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
25 to 34.
Yeah.
Highest one.
Definitely. 1 minute.
So, well, you guys are going to get repeated twice because we're talking about the show, and I see people are clicking away on this. So thank you for clicking away on TikTok. So it's nice. We don't get to see that on Facebook because they're back.
Have the camera turned the other way.
We should do it the other way maybe and do it that way.
I don't know. I keep looking at myself.
Well, I can keep on going. Man, I should have done my hair. I should have done my hair.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. And those 3 things with the World Health Organization, the 3 things they have listed there, come directly from Christina Messick.
Yeah, they do.
That's incredible.
That's why I didn't repeat them.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking it's already there.
That's them.
I don't know if we need it. Welcome back. Yes, you are listening to Hypno Life. I'm Dr. William Deihl.
And I'm Dr. Jennifer Couldry.
And this is Hypno Life here on 1100 KFNX, the Pulse of Arizona. We are talking about burnout, and 66% of Americans experience burnout. And some retirees don't even understand that what they call retirement depression actually is a adjunct to burnout that was never ever treated before they retired.
Oh, definitely. And I think identity also comes into play.
Oh my God, yes. I know when I actually left the corporate world and started doing doc hypnosis full time, there was an identity shift because my whole life was around taking care of those employees, that company, moving towards those directions. And that's where the recovery steps really come in, rest and reset. I love that one because of the rhyme.
Yeah, but it's also rest to reset, right?
Yeah, rest to reset.
You definitely take the time to really think about it, right? That's not just, lying in bed because you're overwhelmed.
I've done that.
That's actually leaving your house, right? And doing self-care. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it could look different for you. Maybe you love to go fishing or hiking or,
well, that's like
maybe you want to get your nails done. Fine, do it.
I know we talked about delegating, but also let other people serve you.
Yeah,
it's like
hard time with that.
I do too, but you were a server, and it's like you have the utmost respect for individuals, and I love that about you. But it's also taking the time and saying, okay, it's okay for other people to do other things.
I think you've had to say to me literally before, can't somebody else take care of you for a little bit? I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess so.
Also,
thank you.
Taking the time to have a breath in your life, breathe. And we talked about how to do the 4, 7, 8 breath earlier. Also, take a nice bath or a shower.
Yeah.
I know that, they're talking about taking a nice bath, but one of the doctor that you quoted earlier said, hey, take a shower that's about 68 degrees.
Yeah, that was Dr. Anson Service.
Yeah, it's fascinating because that shocks the system and makes the vagus nerve reset. So either way, you can get into that relaxation if you want to shock yourself into it or sit back and relax in a hot tub.
Right. And also saying no. I think that can be hard sometimes. It's okay to say no. I know that we all want to be able to go to as many events as possible and show up for family, especially. But sometimes you need to protect your own, your own peace, your own well-being, and it's okay to say no. That doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you need a break.
Yeah, and get out into nature. We already said that. And it's something that it's close to home, a statistic that I've never even thought about. I had someone very close to me actually went through a level of burnout because they were taking care of someone constantly. And there was a young man. And a lot of people go, oh, the youngsters of this world really don't have a problem. But 81% of individuals that are 18 to 24 will go through a level of burnout.
Yeah.
This is what blew me away. 83% of people between 25 and 34 will go through a level of burnout.
Yeah, and I think those statistics too call into play. I mean, those are pretty life-changing age groups or age kind of ranges, right? 18 to 24, you're usually most likely starting college, trying to explore a new way of thinking, a new way of learning too, and then 25 to 34. I mean,
just entering the work,
right?
Well, they're entering the workforce,
or,
having kids at the same
having a
time.
Family, being married, understanding another person.
Are you trying to understand me or something? Is that what that laugh was about?
I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'll try.
But one of the studies that Herbert did, and his last name, how do you say his name again?
Herbert Freudenberger.
Was he actually was studying social workers and doctors and nurses, and they found out that 57% of doctors and 44% of nurses are going through a level of burnout. So we specialize in helping reset people's nervous systems, and really burnout is in this state of fright. Your nervous system does not know how to get out of this fight or flight or freeze or fawn process. And that's what we're doing at Doc Hypnosis, is helping people reset that and get back to what they're a better quality of life, if it's through clinical sound therapy.
Yeah, or hypnotherapy, right? To be able to find that natural state that we all have. I mean, I know you've felt it before when you've been at an event or at a place that you're just really having the best time of your life. That like time tends to freeze and also speed up at the same time.
Oh my God, yes. And you also said it was a great piece of information that you said we probably need to touch on, that burnout mimics depression.
Yes.
And I do have a lot of people coming to Doc Hypnosis for depression, and then we realize that no, they're burnt out. If they take and start doing and resetting their nervous system, taking these reset steps to keep it going. These are not one and done. This is a lifestyle, because if you've had burnout once before, you're open to burnout again. I like kind of looking at it almost like heat stroke. If you've had heat stroke once, you're open to having heat stroke again.
Definitely, and when he talks about burnout mimicking like clinical depression, on some of our notes here, because we want to make sure that we're factually accurate and we give you guys good information, right?
Yes.
It says here that situationally tied to prolonged stress, and I think that's very important. That's very important to call out. Prolonged stress can impact our nervous system in a just a catastrophic way, including some like medical things that start popping up, like high blood pressure, hypertension. Some of these things are related to stressors as well in your life. I
went through a level of prolonged stress when I was diagnosed with cancer, and that was for me, that's when burnout hit me. That was a period of time of my life where I was, I almost didn't feel like I knew what up from down was.
I'm sure it just shifts your perception of reality, just flips everything on its head.
It did. It made me look at life. So that's the blessing in this disguise. It actually forced me to slow down. It forced me to appreciate life in a different way. My being there for my kids, being a better father, taking time. That's where I actually, I met you after I went to remission. But during that time, I got my service dog, and she took care of me. She's still with me, 11-year-old Great Dane. And for me, hence one of those steps is maybe getting a support animal. It helped me kind of focus on myself and take time for myself. So I know during that time being upside down, it disrupted my sleep all the way through.
And another thing that can do that as well, of course, is grief, right? Grief, I think it can really, it can just shake your foundation, just to the core. And it's just important to be kind to yourself, I think.
And that's one of the things burnout will sometimes hit individuals. Burnout can reduce your empathy because you're so tired, you're not looking at it. But realize that when we talk about burnout, most people say to us that, they're just thinking of work. But no, you're saying, and you said it, it could be a health situation, and burnout can cause health problems. It could be taking care of someone. It could be work. It could be school. It could be almost anything that you are in a heightened stress factor all the time, and you just don't get out of it.
Definitely a prolonged state of stress.
Yes, prolonged state of stress.
Exactly. That's exactly what you said. I was just dovetailing in there. But I think that's one of the things that makes Doc Hypnosis so special, is that we have a variety of techniques and protocols that we can tailor to you. Because just like Dr. Deihl and I are very different people, our clients are different too. And we try to make sure that we provide support wherever you are to help you get to where you would like to be.
What we strive to do is reset the nervous system, and just not just take time off. We want to make sure individuals get a reset through clinical sound therapy or hypnotherapy.
Definitely.
And you are listening to Hypno Life with Dr. William Deihl
and Dr. Jennifer Couldry.
We're from Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center. You can reach us at 602-314-1907 or online at dochypnosis.com. You're listening to us on 1100 KFNX,
the Pulse of Arizona.
I just want to say thank you. Tune back and see us next week. We're going to be talking more about hypnotherapy and how we can help you reset your nervous system.